This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, ready to talk a little basketball. Not that the team is ready to play basketball, but at least they won yesterday in overtime against an injury-riddled Hornets team. Anyway.
Big O, I am bringing a cardiologist to all the Heat games from now on. I mean, the way this team has played and the escape acts and blown leads, it's just, I mean, it has been, if you want a thrill ride, if you thought Halloween ended your thrillers, Jamie Lee Curtis could be playing in these games because it has been harrowing now for more than a week.
Yeah, no, it's just frustrating. You're watching that game and everything's falling apart and Jimmy Butler's killing himself to keep you alive, and God bless him, dude. I mean, that is one guy that leaves it out there on the court every single freaking night. And, I'm laughing because, Bam, that whole thing about, 18 or 19 shots, and I just circled. He was 6 of 15 in an overtime game. And by the way, he did make a play at the end. So did Lowry and all that. But still, I felt bad for Jimmy because down the stretch, that lead disappears. And if it's not for him, dude, there's no way you even walk out of that game with a W, man. I just, I don't know where they would be without Jimmy Butler.
I just wrote that at Sentinel.com. And Big O, if you have to get playoff Jimmy Butler in November, that's a real concern.
Against the Hornets at home.
If you have to get playoff Jimmy Butler for 42 minutes in November, that's a concern. We know he can do this in the playoffs. You know what's interesting, Big O? That was only the 6th time in the tenure he's been with the Heat during the regular season he has scored 35 or more. We all know that Jimmy waits for the playoffs. We all know that he takes a measured approach to the regular season. He knows what matters most. And this team desperately needed every single one of those 35 points and 10 rebounds and 8 assists and 2 steals against a team now on a 7-game losing streak without LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, or Cody Martin that was playing on the second night of a back-to-back, right, with the Heat having two nights off ahead of time. There is something fundamentally off with this Heat team right now. And, you can say you got the W. You can say you're within 2 games of 500 and you're sorting things out. But, Big O, when you notice things in mid-November and early November, you see them again in December and in January, and you question them in February at the trading deadline. Sometimes after a sample of 10, 15 games, you have enough of a read. Now the question is, now that we've learned Yurtseven might be out for the season or at least for months on end, what do you do next? And we still don't know about Victor Oladipo. We're not counting on Yurtseven. They're not counting on Oladipo because they can't. So basically, you're counting on what you saw last night at FTX or whatever it's called, Arena, plus Tyler Hero, and that's it. So you know what? You don't have an arena name. You don't have a team identity. You don't have a playoff record yet. Yeah, it's going swimmingly.
Yeah. Oh, God. Think about Tom Brady. His divorce, his team, and his crypto company all went to shit. That's the Heat are having a rough year. Brady's had a tougher year this year, although he's got plenty of titles to lean back on for that.
And plenty of money on the side also. And you know what? I went in the Heat locker room and asked around that none of the guys got burned by the affiliation. Udonis Haslem, you've seen the commercials about FTX and the Miami Heat, with the Domino's players and all that.
He has no crypto.
And well, not that. You can do what you want there. But what I'm saying is he might have lost out on the residuals he was supposed to be paid, but he told me he was not invested. So he didn't take the hit. He didn't take the loss there. So I think the Heat players were sort of shielded from that to a degree. But man, Big O, let me ask you a question. And again, I know you're involved in crypto. I know this might be a one-off in your view, so I'll leave it this way. But if your arena today on November 11th was named Bernie Madoff Arena, would you continue to call it that? Because that's where the Heat are right now.
Yeah, here's and we'll go in 2 different directions here.
Okay.
Pro Player Stadium, they went defunct, and then they kept the name. But Pro Player did not ruin the lives of people.
Correct.
FTX has ruined the lives
Yes.
of hundreds of thousands of
Pro
people.
player became Fruit of the Loom, and you did not want to play in Fruit of the Loom Stadium, so I get
Right,
all of that.
right.
And, and even
But keeping that around is not the worst thing because it didn't ruin lives.
and it
Do you
sounded
keep it
good.
around? Do you keep it around now? But see, here's the problem: if you got 20 million up front, do you keep it until the 20 million expire and then you part ways because then you lived up to your contract? Or do you say, no, we've got to take this down because it's a bad look for us? But if you take it down, do you then have to give the prorated portion back? I don't
Exactly.
know how this agreement works, but I'll tell you this, the city's in charge. If the city's in charge,
The county, actually, the county's in charge.
county,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
going to keep the name on there, and they're going to take the
Well,
$20 million.
yes.
Because remember, they also had the Miami coin thing that didn't go as well. So
Yes. Yeah, and the city has a fiduciary responsibility to its taxpayers that if there's money that's going to be there instead of coming from your taxpayers, you have to honor that also. It's an awkward position for the Heat. And I believe the Heat, to their best of their ability, tried to vet the situation. But as you know, Big O,
they have no
it's a
control.
new industry. It's all different. The difference here is Bernie Madoff was still trying to bring in money from other suckers to pay off its previous suckers. There was an illegal cash flow. This is a guy, and I couldn't believe before they declared bankruptcy today, where he's out there searching for $9 billion in rescue investments. So basically, he's telling 4 NBA owners, I need you to all sell your teams and give me all your money, and then I'm fine. I
Right.
mean, it is just kind of ridiculous how the thing played out. But you know what? In these times, sometimes you land the
Banks
mother
go
lode.
under, man. Banks go under, but they're covered.
Right.
And so that's where you get
Oh,
saved. In this case, you're not. And again, the problem we have in this world right now with crypto is that you have a lot of people that are in it and don't understand it. And the idea of crypto is so you become your own bank. But the problem is you're not going to become your own bank if you're leaving your coins on exchanges that you don't own it. And so you have to put, like I've been telling people for months now, put it in a cold wallet. And I told the FTX people a couple days before the shit hit the fan, I said, get your money out of FTX and put it in a cold wallet. That way you never lose your crypto. That's the beauty of crypto, that you actually get to keep it and own it. You can control your own money. Nobody else can control it, but you've got to understand it. And since we're in such infancy stages of all of this, Ira, too many people still don't understand, and they keep their money on Binance or on crypto.com or on FTX or on KuCoin or any of these exchanges or DeFi's like Celsius that went down. Voyager also went down. They're DeFi also, but you cannot keep your money there. You have to. That's the beauty of crypto. There are cold wallets where you can keep it offline, where you can't get hacked because it's offline. Nobody can get to your coins, and you will control them because you have 12 words. That if you don't have those 12 words, you'll never be able to get to my crypto or anybody else's. And these are the things that people have to learn. This is going to give you, like, you're going to be able to have your own Bitcoin, and you can then borrow off of that Bitcoin at a very low interest rate compared to what you would do in the bank. You'd probably do it like at 2%, something you could never do at the bank. Things like this are coming, but it's just one of those things that you have to understand what's coming down the line, and then you have to understand how to handle all of this. And a lot of people, unfortunately, through Voyager, through Celsius, through FTX now, have had to learn the hard way by keeping their money on these exchanges. And these exchanges, you don't own it. If it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. That's what we do. That's how we say it
and
in crypto.
And these last 2 minutes were like Homer Simpson's dog listening to Homer. Okay, I guess you said some stuff. Big
I
O,
get it.
that's why
I get it.
I just keep all of money in my freezer. So I do follow you to a degree. I take care of it that way. Don't earn any interest, but I'm
Cold
fine.
storage. I like it. I like
Yes,
it.
so
Cold
I keep it simple. And that's why I come on Monday and Fridays in the Acura Pembroke Pines Report, because I'll talk to you about a quality vehicle that gets excellent mileage and reasonably priced payments. That's why I'm on the Acura Pembroke Pines Report and not
Amen.
Crypto World with the Big O.
Amen. Amen. And that's why I try to explain to people what the hell is going on. But I get it. It's all panic and all that. And in a couple years, it'll all be part of our everyday lives. And you're going to go, wow, that idiot O is actually right about this and all that. But that's all right. I'm not,
And again,
It's
for the Heat,
it's
the
all
bigger thing is the look. And again, they have money coming in. There's a responsibility. Oh, you might have a sponsor you might not have been in love with or had a rough dealing with, but you might have kept it because it paid the bills. We're all trying to pay the bills also. So I do think there's a moral end for this. There's a fiscal end for this, and you have to consider both parts of it. And also, and again, the Heat people did not want to talk on the record. They issued a rather benign statement. But you know what? This happened so quick. I mean, you're talking about, Sam Berkman-Fried, I think his name was worth $16
Sam
billion.
Bankman-Fried.
Sam was worth $16 billion on Tuesday and is bankrupt on Friday. Even the Alzugaray books have never looked that bad.
No, or that good.
True.
I'd like for them to look that good at least for once, man. Yeah, it's a shame. He was using the customers' funds for
As his own bank.
leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, for leverage. And when you play with leverage, man, is
Think
very
of
dangerous.
all the pension funds. Think of all the little guys who were part of it and didn't even know they were in it. That's the shame of it.
No, and listen, if you read deeper into the story, the employees were all heavily invested, and a lot of the employees got screwed too. So this runs deep, dude. I hope he goes to jail. I really do. I hope he goes to jail. And I know there are different rules for people like this because they have a hell of a lot more money than we do. But you just can't go like this and ruin people's lives like that and just walk away. I find that Do Kwon from damn it, this coin now that I'm forgetting that crashed. He's on the run right now. They've taken his passports and all that, and he's hiding somewhere. And that's another
No,
guy,
it'll be
Luna.
great because
Luna. That was Luna. That coin.
The Heat can see Sam next time it goes to the Bahamas for training camp, so they can
Yeah.
track him down themselves. And believe me,
and the big picture, by the way, just
Right.
so I can say one thing, and I've
Sure.
said this before already. There's nothing wrong with crypto. Bitcoin didn't get hacked. Ethereum didn't get split. Cardano didn't crash. Polkadot didn't explode. Nothing happened to any company. They're all super strong and they're all growing. VeChain, a whole bunch of them are all growing.
But
The dirtiness is in the exchanges and the DeFis that are mismanaging the
right.
people.
But that's like saying don't trust a brokerage because of what happened in Shearman, Lehman,
Exactly.
and things like that.
Or
No,
Enron or whatever.
Still,
yes.
right.
Yes.
There's still Prudential. There's still Fidelity. There were bad players. Sports, there were bad players in business, and that's just the way it is. The one thing I disagree with you in this is that's why I think there needs to be more regulation, even though people enjoy the unregulated part of it, because the money laundering aspect, as you know, Big O,
of course,
it's a lot easier to money launder in crypto than
No,
it is.
not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You can track every single transaction on crypto. You cannot hide any transactions on crypto. It's actually harder. The DeFi exchanges or crypto exchanges would have to be a part of the money laundering.
Hello.
And that would
Hello.
and then wait a minute, but that would they're really not money, but the exchanges haven't been caught with money laundering. What they've been doing is actually embezzling from their customers is what they're doing.
Takes one, half does the other.
Yeah. The other day, the government just took away 50,000 Bitcoin from somebody that had stolen it a couple years ago, but they couldn't cash it in. They could not cash it in because they have the numbers. That's the beauty of cryptocurrency, that everything is numbered. You cannot. It's like having every dollar bill.
But it's Bitcoin. You just throw it in a vending machine. Anyway, let's talk some basketball.
Yeah. No, but again, nothing's wrong with the crypto coins itself and the industry. What's going on is the problem is with the DeFi exchanges, and that's what you have. That's why I say you don't trust them. You buy and then put it on your own cold wallet, and then you're done. All right. So on the Heat side,
thank you.
I know. I'm sorry. Where are we going with this? Because I almost feel like I'm headed for a really frustrating season because I know Spo's a hell of a coach, but you kind of were touching on it when you were talking about it earlier. It's almost like they put together a puzzle that really doesn't jive.
Yes.
And right now I am not watching anything that resembles Heat defense.
And I think what they have to do is they know they can't change the puzzle pieces because of the luxury tax, because of the salary cap, but I think you can mix it up a little bit. We've seen when they have a shooter starting like Max Strus, it goes better. Look at Jimmy Butler last night and what he did. Well, who didn't play? Tyler Hero didn't play. As much as Tyler wants to start, and you and I have discussed this from the get-go, I think you need to reorder your rotation. Not Tyler's fault, not anyone else's fault. I need to get more out of Kyle Lowry. I get more out of Kyle Lowry when Tyler...
Nobly! Just play him that video. Just play that video for him and say, hey, listen, man, San Antonio did it. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's a great freaking player.
In the Hall of Fame, exactly.
You're a great freaking player.
And look, and it's not permanent. It's just now while we regain our legs, who knows? Maybe there'll be a deal at the trading deadline. Maybe there'll be something else. Maybe there'll be a different power forward, a 3-point spacing power forward more than Caleb Martin. But right now, so I think what Eric Spoelstra has to do, you don't want to make it look like a panic. You're only 2 games under 500. But you also have to get a sense of what's working and what's not working right now. And right now, it's, look, if you had a Tyler Hero on the bench last night and you needed a spark in the fourth quarter, instead of calling upon 33-year-old Jimmy Butler, you can call on 23-year-old Boy Wonder instead and save your guy, like happened all of last season when Tyler Hero could be that guy who steps up. The Heat are who they are right now. It's not like a Victor Oladipo trade is going to get you anything because Victor Oladipo doesn't play. It's not like you can include Omer Yurtseven in a trade because Omer Yurtseven won't play. It's not like you can include Dedmon in a trade because you can't deal him till January anyway. So make the best use of your puzzle pieces by shaking up that puzzle a little bit. But again, Eric Spoelstra never panics. He pushes through. So I am curious, and maybe a few W's will change it. But keep this in mind, Big O. After Saturday's game against the really bad Charlotte Hornets, you have the Suns coming in on Monday and then a grueling 4-game road trip that includes the Raptors, that includes the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's like Jimmy said and Bam said last night. They need W's. They need to get on the good side of things. Yes, they escaped last night. But if Kelly Oubre is not called for a travel, just receiving the pass with 13 seconds left in overtime, that's the go-ahead basket possibility right there. They got lucky. I'm going to wait like everyone else to see the officiating report. Did they get screwed like the Sacramento Kings got screwed last week on Tyler's winning 3? So, man, that margin, that fine line, it's smaller than your cup of Cuban coffee over there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And then the other thing that I worry about, and you saw it last night, the Butler overload of minutes. If you're going to do that, if you can't figure this out a lot faster to alleviate the load off of Butler, he's not going to last the season. He won't be fresh for your playoffs. He'll be either injured or just worn down.
Or take games off like he did last week for hip soreness when it really was for rest. Jimmy Butler will be taking games off this season, and he should. Kyle Lowry will be taking games off this season, and he should. That's today's NBA. Everyone's saying 82's too many.
Kyle Lowry took a season off. Why should he take anything off?
Okay, but I'm just talking about this season right now, and Miami Heat people who are listening, that's the guy in the box over there who's talking. Over there, I'll figure that one out.
They know me. They know me very well. They know I'm not a big fan of that Lowry deal. I mean, I've said that over and over again.
Hard to be right now. Again, I asked this to Kurt Heelan on our RedRecover.com Inside the Paint show on Wednesday. For those who like to do a little homework over the weekend and send me their results, I really wonder where Kyle Lowry ranks right now among the NBA starting point guards, and I don't think it's in the top 50%. And the Heat were expecting more when they made that deal of giving up Precious Achiuwa, of giving up Goran Dragic, and of giving up an $85 million 3-year contract.
God. One guy put, Lowry is a roach, man. I don't know what that means, but I guess
hey, if he has 90 lives like a cockroach, I'm fine with that also, as long as he keeps resurfacing.
Yeah, just play a hell of a lot better, man. All right, what do you got going on the Sun Sentinel as we get ready for Saturday's game against the Hornets?
I wrote the story we spoke about how Jimmy Butler had to be playoff Jimmy Butler, and that's worrisome in November. I wrote my Ask Ira on if Omer Yurtseven is out for months and possibly the season, do you look for another center? Do you give Boogie Cousins a call, a guy who can give you some offense, who has experience? And shockingly, he's only 32 years old. The Heat won't because of the luxury tax. Don't start, Big O. We'll argue about that on Monday. So you have those concerns. And I'm working on a story right now where Kelly Oubre says He thinks it's like sharks in the water trying to attack his team, and he was completely blindsided when he was called for that travel in overtime last night. And I think we're going to have to look at our last 2-minute officiating report when that comes out at 4 or 5 o'clock today and look into that. So the one thing the Heat have given you this season, not wins, but man, the drama, it's already in place. It's like their motto should be, we know drama.
Heat are going to give me a freaking ulcer is what they're going to give me.
Heart attack. Heart attack. You and I will be side by side there getting our EKGs at the same time. Yeah.
More stents in my heart. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. And, of course, catch his exceptional work at the Sun Sentinel. In fact, subscribe to it like I do and catch him 3 times a week here with our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA reports on Mondays and Fridays. And, of course, on Wednesdays, the redrecover.com Inside the Paint show. Ira, have a fantastic weekend, my friend. We'll catch up on Monday.
I'm going to go put my Bitcoin in the soda machine right now. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Cold storage. That's what it's all about.